Welcome. Good morning from the UK. Thanks for joining me. Today I want to talk about a mild obsession I have. Nothing to worry about. This obsession is to do with the seashore and more specifically waves. I'm fascinated by the power and the repeatability of waves. As a child, my father, who lived at the coast when he was growing up, talked about the seventh wave being a big one, and that intrigued me, and I was always going to find out whether there was any basis for this. You believe everything your father tells you, but then you do question what's the basis for this statement. I'm still exploring. I'd certainly like to know your views on it. Any comments in the section below would be interesting. So, where am I with this study of waves? I'm just at the beginning of a journey. I've seen some very big waves during storms offshore on oil rigs and supply vessels and dive boats, and it governed my workday many times when I was flying ROVs offshore. So waves are very deep in my psyche, and here I am revisiting it from a different perspective. Modern drones, of which I have a few in various states of repair, and modern cameras enable us to see amazing seascapes, coastlines, landscapes. But I do believe our coastline around the UK throws up, no pun intended, throws up some amazing wave patterns. You do have to include the shore in this almost equation, because the type of shoreline, the inclination and what it's made up of can affect the picture. And I guess that comes from seeing the waves in various states and forms up and down the northeast coast. Having seen the waves from under those waves via the cameras on our ROV vehicle as we moved around the seabed inspecting pipelines and oil rig legs and structures, and even viewing divers at work. Having seen waves and how it affects the ROV, we had ROVs that had a power of 50 horsepower, and the waves would simply blow us off station in some occasions. So I do appreciate the power of the waves. Getting back to topside and looking at it from the shoreline and above, I'm still appreciating the amazing sight of seeing waves break on a coastline, a shoreline. I guess there's a whole host of people who are fascinated by what is thrown up every tide. Flotsam and jetsam, I believe, is the terms. I do have friends who search the beach after every tide, seeing what they can find. Not for me, lots of walking. I'm at this point where I'm just enjoying the beauty of seeing from an almost static point of view, either high up on cliffs, out over the sea with a drone, or close to the shoreline with a radio controlled car that's sufficiently waterproof enough it can enter the lapping waves and return safely. I want to include a couple of sightings of waves, if that's the right phrase, that I took recently with the Insta360 1R camera using what's called the 4K mod. It gets the 360 name because of the 360 mod, which is the module that has two cameras. This amazing modular camera in a 4K mode can be attached to my drone, albeit upside down, but that can be corrected in post. It can be attached to the drone conventionally if there is such a thing, conventionally vertically mounted or horizontally pointing down. And it's natural to assume that this would be the classic looking down perfect shot for studying waves as they break on the seashore. But we'll see the footage and discuss that when we look at the footage. Let's see that footage now. This is using the Insta360 1R camera with the 4K mod mounted so that we're looking directly down. The camera is mounted horizontally and the mode is set to ultra wide. Observations of this footage as the drone ascends. Well, I wish there wasn't any people in the shot, but that's solved by going back and repeating the process at a similar tide. We can see the lovely sloping beach, gentle wave formation on this day. This was a simple vertical, just straight up and down shoot, no heroics, still exploring what a horizontal mount would give me. There is an element of unsteadiness in the camera work, but we can still appreciate the waves. Now we see the camera mounted almost conventionally, pointing vertically. So this flight is slightly out to sea, a turn to look back at land, and then strokes of genius, looking north and looking south, give great views of the shoreline. So that's definitely a shot I'll be repeating. This is from a slightly different height. Again, I'd rather there wasn't any people in the shot. The drone seems to be quite low to the water here. I can assure you it wasn't. It must just be the angle of the drone being that little bit further out. The ultra wide angle, well, it has its uses. I think my next flight is going to be in a standard mode just to get clarity. So this first look at my study of the waves, hope you've enjoyed the experience and will join me again soon. Please add any comments below, hopefully positive, and if you've got any ideas for video shoots of waves and shoreline, leave a comment below. And if you liked the video, please give it a thumbs up. If you're not too keen on a video, then by all means give it a thumbs down twice. Thanks for watching.